Blessed new moon, everybody. Hello, hello. I am Shakti, High Priestess for Luxunis Sisterhood, and the Sacred Avatar for Divine One Energy. If this is your new time, your first time being with us, welcome. We do these every new moon, clockwork, and it's a wonderful time to get together to talk about the currents of the world and how they affect us individually. So tonight we're going to do something new. First of all, I want to say happy anniversary. At the end of the month is the Divine One energy, the energy that finally came back to Earth, and it's been 13 years. So we're celebrating in the sisterhood at the end of the month this powerful anniversary and celebration. And for everybody here, I welcome you. I see people are starting to get on. Hello, Clancy, Catherine, and Jordan. Hello, everybody. Yes, and so if this is, like I said, your new time, take time to just kind of the space for you. Be here with us. There's so much in store. Tonight, like I said, we're going to do something a little bit different. Usually we work on our magical intentions. We work on the lists of things that we want to invoke and bring into our life. And while we're going to be still doing that, and the backside of things, the new moon gatherings are going to take a different turn, a powerful turn, something that has been in the works. So I'm really excited, and I'll tell you what that is. Not to be mysterious. Hello, Allie. I see that you're on. Thank you. Hello, Rayanne. Hello, Christina. I'm so glad you made it. So let's talk a little bit about this. Back 13 years ago, let's say it that way, a little bit of a brief history here, or herstory. Back 13 years ago, I had no idea that Luxunis would transform into the world literally that it is, the movement, the awakening. And I thought this was just a very individualized experience. Little did I know that my experience was going to be an outreach to the world, and what has been created, and the beloved clients that have come through my vision, and also the sisterhood that has evolved through this movement has been very powerful, and we are just getting started. So I believe that these past 13 years has been about getting my own bearings, so to speak, to create what needed to be created, to be in the movement of whatever one directed, and to move forward into what is still yet to be. And for a long time, one has been telling me there is something that needs to be spoken, the words of one, me basically being the avatar, the movement, which one speaks through, the All Mother, the platform that one speaks through. So that is what the new moons are going to be about. It's going to be a channeled gathering where those who are in attendance will receive the frequencies of the Divine One energy, that will receive the messages that are meant for you. So as we do the fun stuff of the card pulling and we do meditation, it's going to take a little bit of a turn to being in the mindful space of one. The world needs this mindful space now. We are in this tumultuous time for a reason, and a lot of it is if you feel within yourself, like how have you all been feeling with, okay, we are Mercury retrograde, but even beyond that, it's as if there's something uncomfortable within you that needs to be addressed, something that's maybe pulling you, or something that you feel you can muscle through. But it's for everybody. Everybody on some level is feeling this push-pull, so to speak, energy. And right now, the humanity has shifted into this paradigm of really hard. And I call it a paradigm because as we, as a humanity, make choices, right? We make choices as to what we're going to experience on the world level, the world conscious level. We make these choices in agreement. And part of that is to go into this space so that we can realize that it is not the space for us. I mean, the universe works in this polarity, right? We have one sphere, you'll have the other as well in some form. So as we are learning to navigate what we really desire in life, what we're really about, who we really are, we can get these energies. We can get this hard. We can disconnect from everything, which is what a lot of people want to do, disconnect and just kind of go within our own selves. So even within our own landscape or inner landscape, we find the work. And the work, right, we always say is meant to be with grace and ease. However, not everybody agrees to that here on Earth. So while we are working our own individuality and our sovereignty within this paradigm, we're also working on a huge world level. So the more that we do our own work, the more the world shifts. So we're not by ourselves. Hello, Selena, Priestess Selena. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, Kat. I see you're here. Wonderful. I'm so glad everyone's getting online. I see Alex. Hello. So if I don't, the thing is there, right there, but I'm just trying to be in the space. So if I I don't say hello, I'm welcoming everybody. So the words of one that are coming through, that are going to be coming through tonight, are going to be different from, but not different, because I feel like I always work within the sphere of one. I do within my own energy. It's specifically centered to the parts of you that still are dormant. So I know it sounds very like, what does that mean? Very vague, but it's actually very focused. The parts of you that have yet to be revealed, the parts of you that are seeking that awakening, the parts of you that feel like it's still untouched, that you know is there, like deeply there, that is the part that one desires to awaken. And I say the word one. Okay, let's talk about that really quickly, because I know that a lot of people think of, what is that? Like oneness. That's not what this is. Okay, one is connected to the movement of oneness, meaning that we are all connected. We have that web of connection, right, through the matrix, like we were talking about earlier, humanity. But one operates on a more individualized level as well, meaning as we do for the whole, like the macro, the micro needs attention, right? We can say the whole world has bliss and peace, but you individually, where is your bliss and peace, right? And that's where one steps in, like a laser, like honing to attune you to what that means. And it's individualized for every single person. One showed me when I first started 13 years ago, kind of like this powerful, intense chrysalis that humanity walks around with. It kind of extends out more than 12 feet and goes into the ground. And we all had this, okay? Though I say had, for me, past tense, because I worked with one to remove this. And what it feels like, it separates you. It keeps you unconcerned with your level of connection. It could and so that chrysalis kind of disconnects you from the world, from whatever it is that was even within yourself that needs to connect and make a touching too in this world. And so what one does is dissipates that, creates the sphere in which you can now move in an entirely new way. So I use the word one because this is something that was given, the word that was given to me, but it's capitalized ONE. And that is evolved. The words are not, there are no words to really translate as to what the energy is. But it's not oneness in the sense of this is what the goal is. The goal is individualized awakening to your most highest and truest form while incarnated. Okay. And not transcending those things of human consciousness. It's to evolve you while you're feeling human, while you're in the constructs of that humanness. So we're going to be working on it. Hi, hello, everybody. Yes. So ask questions. We have some priestesses from the sisterhood on in the chat. If you have questions about this as to what I'm speaking of, they are all level 2. They are basically practitioners of the Luxunis method that is channeled from one. So they can answer any questions that you may have about the divine one energy. And I said, this looks it sounds very, what is the word I want to use? Vague, but it's not. It's simply not getting lost in the translation of having specific words to describe. Because it's individualized, people feel it at a very personal level, what is meant for them. Okay, so tonight we celebrate this powerful energy that has once again come to Earth. It was part of humanity a very long time ago, predating recorded history in this history, part of Atlantis, beyond Mu, beyond all of the ancient, powerfully technologically advanced civilizations. One was there, seeking to assist humanity. It was a very sacred promise. Now, going into a little bit of that, what that means is that there was a promise that was part of Gaia, we call planet Earth, for her children, her inhabitants, that one would come, as well as other energies from different starseeds planets, but we're working on focusing on just one right now, that that would come, that energy, that consciousness would be shared with humanity, and in doing so would elevate and lift the planet to a level of ascension that could not be readily available on its own. So, lot of star planets, star higher consciousness, evolution, consciousness, awakening, non-beings and extraterrestrial beings, or however you want to call them, came in and agreed to this sacred covenant, the sacred contract. So you will find people that call it that call themselves star seeds or star beings or crystal children, or lots of powerful, beautiful people that have made it their life's mission and work to assist others here that are Gaia's children, that are part of the elementals here, that are more earth-based, and to bring them here to a level of awakening. And we all do this. We're all part of this powerful movement. And one has its own specific, specialized part and sacred contract and covenant. So this is why I'm here as the avatar one, the high priestess of one, the divine one energy, to what I've chosen and what I've agreed to, predating incarnation. So the time has come now for the words of one be spoken in a way on a public level, not just within the sisterhood, the divine beloved sisterhood, the Luxunis sisterhood, but on a more public broadcasting, so that others will feel the frequency and receive the blessings and magic of one. So, hi, Rosie. I'm so glad you made it. So, there's a lot. I see that there's questions. I know that Christina has a question. How do we know what starseed we belong to are from? I've been having dreams lately, and that is beautiful. What a beautiful question, Christina. There's a lot involved with that. I would like to say, oh, you just can meditate and you can get it. And that's true for some people. Others, the dreams will kind of will unveil and show you, and you can set the intention as you go to sleep to be revealed to you, your star seed, who you are, where you come from. And it'll be maybe through messages, symbols, signs. Pay attention. So if you put that out there, be aware of what's being given back to you. For me, it literally was just asking, sitting in quiet contemplation, and trusting the very first thing that came to me. So it's not too cloak and dagger. It's pretty direct, because they want you to know if it's something that's part of your path and part of some work you need to do, especially when you have dreams. Hi, Lori. Sun seeds too. I love it. Yes. So there's a lot happening right now on our planet. So all of this is necessary to usher us in, to bring us forward into the movement of our trueness, our sovereignty. And that is the biggest word. You'll hear me in the sisterhood say that a lot, sovereignty. What empowers you to activate that powerful sovereignty within you, and what pulls you from your sovereignty, what takes you out of that sacred divine choice or freedom where you feel imposed upon to make choices that are not authentic to your own being and character and what your mission is here. Now, people say, oh, my mission is to live life. And yes, while you're living life in that construct, what is the focus or desire of your soul? And that's the mission, right? It could be simply to experience all that life holds for you. And within each individual pattern and thread and story, it all is part of the sacred weaving. And there are some that have a little bit more focused paths, and all of it is necessary, and all of it is sacred and blessed. So what I'm going to do, is I am going to keep chatting and keep talking. If feel guided to ask questions, however, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put myself in a space. And when I open my eyes, this is kind of was guided to me, just to get into that space. And I'm just going to channel. I'm going to give you the words of one. So however it comes out is how it's meant to. May you receive what is meant for you. And for me, it's very emotional because I feel so honored and I feel so uh, present with one that it feels very sacred, almost like a rebirthing for me. I've been personally going through a lot to get to the point of this nexus. And it is like beyond words. I know that this is something that is beyond my own human understanding, even when it comes to the complexities and the power that the divine one energy holds. So, oh, I'm so glad you're here, PK. Yes. So, yes, please share away with whatever you feel in the chat. And so I'm going to go and just put myself into a sacred space really quickly. I opened up the portal of one, and so now I will begin. Beloveds, this is a momentous time in our history. So much has culminated to get us to this point of being in this space, right here in this perfected time. What you will encounter as you go through your life, as you go through the trials, as you go through the mystery that unfolds before you with the questions of why and how, what do I do to become, understand that you already are. What that means is you are a seed unfolding with each petal that decides to reveal itself. A newness, awareness of who you are transcends that of which you thought you were. But you have always been, and you will always be that which is the most sacred part of you. What we mean by that is there has been an infiltration into the truth of believing you had to become. Who you are is what you were always meant to be. Disregard the discounts that you've given to the world, the things that you have told the world that you must be in order to become. And understand that just by being, by breathing, by living and sharing the heart space that you encounter with others, that is being. There is a misguided understanding that one must prove oneself in order to belong or to fit in. Understand that this is not truth and is a great fallacy that plagues humanity. The word unworthy. Every single soul that walks the earth has felt this, yet was not born with it. Your soul deems you worthy, and there is no discounting that. Realize in this very moment of truth, all that you seek, you are. Replace all that is seeking, all that you are seeking is seeking you with all that you are is within you. You hear the master speaking this of aeons. Through the times you have heard this. Some disbelieve because they feel the world's story telling them the fraudulent message of you must show worth. Listen to these words carefully, beloveds. You are here to share your message. You are here to live your truth. You are here as powerful sovereign beings, as gods and goddesses that walk this earth to bless, to celebrate, and to evolve into your truest being, that which you already are. The work is moving through the disharmony of humanity, all that has been introduced throughout the ages. Understand that there are other energies in the world that have been given to humanity to block the evolution, the ascension. Some come in the form of guise. Some come in the form of wolves in sheep's clothing. Understand, it is your powerful gifts to discern what that is. You know it. When you hear it, trust what you feel. It is no longer necessary to seek out that which you have within you. It is no longer necessary to find validation for what you know to be true. Be still and listen. In this newness, it is no coincidence the new moon in Aquarius, the age of Aquarius that is upon us, that ascends upon this world now, that one is coming through as we say hello to usher in what is to be. In this time, where do you stand? What do you choose? Beloved, blessed sovereign beings, what do you choose? Allow yourself to move through these patterns of dis-ease and disharmony. Allow yourself compassion, grace, humility has its own place. However, most of you have used humility as an excuse to not be. I cannot be that because it is so great. I choose to not say I am this because who am I? All of these words plague the consciousness that is desiring to be removed from you. It is time. Feel it and know it. Feel it right now within you. Where do you feel the resonance as we channel the energy to you? Where do you feel it in your being? Breathe into the ancient knowing that is yours, that has always been. Breathe into your soul and allow it to take form in your life, showing to you what needs to be now. It is a choice each and every day. You decide whether you are going to adopt the fallacies of the world or whether you're going to create something new. It is choice every day when you awaken in the morning and when you close your eyes at night. You were left with this message and this charge. You choose. The invitation is for you. What do you choose your life to be? What do you choose to be remembered once your imprint has been designed here on Gaia? What is your imprint? What do you choose? Believe now that all that you desire truly is within your reach. And we desire this for you. Receive it. Allow. Trust. These simple words invite you to use your discernment and your sovereignty. Crowned upon each and every one of you, walking masters of this world. It is shared as we house it through this form. It is shared energetically throughout all of you. We leave this message with you. beloved of one. May you be blessed. May you remember. It is so. Okay, so there we are. Very first public channeling for one. So powerful. And yes, thirsty. I had my water right here. I see you, Catherine. The first thing I saw. So yeah. Wow, what a message. Remembering some of it, most of it, sovereignty. It's a beautiful word. And that's something I've been working a lot with one in sovereignty is in what does that even mean, right? When you think of sovereignty, you think of like this royalty. That's what I used to think of back in the day when I used to think of like the sovereign beings. And what it means is that we are all that. We are all that royalty. I mean, what is royalty? It's just basically back in the days, the monarchs that took over a certain country, and then they deemed themselves the rulers of that country. But we are all the rulers with our souls, within the individuality of our own belief system and within our own consciousness. We are that. We are sovereign beings. We all chose to incarnate. And we think that just being incarnated meant mommy and daddy got together and had a great time. No, really and truly, sovereignty is like we chose to house the body that we came with, right? And the stories and the connections and the influences. And we chose a lot of the things that we experience. And we think, gosh, man, this sucks, right? Because it feels so dense and heavy, yet we still stand, we still move through it, we still work through it. And I feel like in this time, like it's not so much the words, like when I was feeling one, just like it was, gosh, it was really taking over. It was a little bit hard to kind of focus for a little bit. I just feel my heart chakra just expanded so much. And it's choice, right? Like showing up, doing the work, being here, moving through the stuff, taking our own responsibility for what happens in our lives and how it works. So oh my gosh, yes. So there's so much involved in when we say sovereignty. It isn't just like, yep, I choose this today. I choose to wear this glass or this crystal. No, sovereignty is choosing by choice what you're going to plug into, what you're going to feed and fuel in your life, like every day. And what you give attention to and what you choose not to. So the things, the message that was like loud and clear was, where are you going to put your focus? You're going to believe the things, the story, the stuff that has kept you like limited and weighted. Are you going to stop it? Like literally choice. They said when you wake up, when you close your eyes, what choices do you make? What do you want? What do you choose? Like to be, again, the victim of the world and its circumstances, or finally to say, you know what? There's something great is coming and I feel it. And I'm going to move towards that. Right. So good. Yes, I love that. So Zarklani, am I saying that? Zaraklani. I'm sorry if I just totally messed that up. But okay, so solar plexus. Funny that you should mention that, because in the Luxunis method, that's one of the places that when you first have the method done, where the energy, people feel a tugging. They call it a tugging. And I cannot tell you how many beloved clients have said that, tugging. And it's because we hold a lot of the not only our own history there, the soul's energy there. It's a powerful vortex for world energy. That's why when you feel it in your stomach or your gut, and you're like, oh, I feel it in my stomach, if it's nervous knots or if it's a feeling that of dread or whatever, you can feel things in your heart chakra, but your stomach is usually the place where they say, oh my gosh, I have a stomach ache or whatever. It's that we house a lot there in our solar plexus. So yes. So if you're feeling the energy, again, this is there was a transmission from one. So you were getting, energy frequencies and receiving what one was working with you individually. So that is why this is now needed for the new moons, and I'll be doing that every new moon, probably more within the sisterhood, but definitely in the new moon. So oh, Okay, so I'm trying to read everything, and I'm sorry that I'm only kind of scanning really quickly. Oh, I had to eat a little cookie. Yes, Clancy. Eat a cookie for me. Hi, brother Adam. I see you. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Val. So yes, so this is needed, right? And here's the great thing. We all have the ability to channel. And we channel all the time, whether we know it or not. Like, how many times do you feel inspired and you're like telling something to, somebody, a friend, a beloved, and you're like, you get into this moment and you're like just saying the words and you don't even know where they're coming from. And then they're just kind of like, wow, thank you. I needed to hear that. I'm sure all of you have had that experience. That is channeling, right? And so every time you've sat down and you've written in your journal and you've wrote things out and you've almost gone into a trance-like state, that is channeling. So it's not this mysterious thing that I did. I was just channeling a certain frequency that is my part of my path, part of my work. But we can channel our high selves all the time. And in fact, I invite you to do that more when you feel especially stuck or downtrodden in these energies that are just too intense sometimes. Work in that field. Stop, disconnect, take a breath, 5 minutes, write, say, hi self, what do I need to know right now? It doesn't have to be some formal journal, just like a pad of paper, which I do a lot. I will even use a sticky note if I need to, and just write, just continue to write. In fact, I invite all of you to do that tonight. Take the moment to just say, okay, beloved high self. I use beloved because I love that word to really invoke love, to really put me in that heart space, right? And I like to say, what is it that I need to know right now? Take a couple of breaths and just write. I don't stop. I don't worry about spelling or punctuation. And I just write, because when I do that, I actually activate the other filter, the logical filter that likes to screen things, or likes to go, maybe not that word, maybe this word, maybe this. And then before you know it, it doesn't feel authentic anymore. So just allow yourself to be in that space until you feel it's done. It kind of like siphons out, then you're done. And that's when you know, okay, the channeling's over. You received what you needed. Boom. So, so there we are. Yeah. I love that so much. Rosie said it's empowering to her solar plexus, the gut feeling that is my time and taking the actions to become more of what I'm meant to be. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, so do that. That's going to be your homework. It's going to be your love work, because there's so much involved in learning to listen. And we listen all the time, right? And sometimes we don't listen. Sometimes they're like, we cut ourselves off and we say, I'm not listening to the bullshit anymore. That's just ridiculous. And we choose, when we stop listening, we stop listening to a lot of things. So here's a good example. So I was talking with one not very long ago and saying, I'm ready for an up level. Be careful what you ask for. So, so I was saying, I'm ready for an up level. I'm ready to start to really activate even more of my gift of clairvoyance, seeing. And they said, okay, you ready? Are you sure? Because here's the thing. We've offered this to you in the past, Shakti, and this is what's happened. I've turned it off because I've seen other things that I don't want to see. And people are just etherically or whatever. And they said, in order to see, you have to be willing to see all of it. So in order to really hear, you have to be willing to hear all of it, even if you don't like what you hear or don't like what you see. It's important, because turning and tuning and off and on doesn't work that way to be fully activated and engaged in something. So when we hear something that doesn't resonate, go deeper. Okay, well, it doesn't resonate. Why? Maybe there's some truth, maybe there isn't, or maybe we're triggered, maybe there's work that needs to be done, or maybe it's something to say, it's time to step away. Just step away. Maybe not forever, but step away for now. And that's okay. It's okay to give yourself permission to do those things that will be honoring your own intuition, honoring what you feel. And the more that you do that, it grows, right? So, so I love it. So yes, that's pretty much the thing for tonight. We're not going to be, like I said, the meditations, the new moon work, that's going to be on you. Maybe you can do something to which I'm going to be doing for the new moon in Aquarius, especially. Aquarius is innovative. It's quirky. If you have some Aquarius, I call them my aquariums. If you have some Aquarius energy or whatever, using the new moon to think of ideas and new ways of doing something. So say if you're like, yeah, I already do the journaling, I already do the writing. Okay, well, why don't you do a video, a personal video, like pull up, I don't know, one app and start talking about you and see what happens when you start using your channeling that way. Or do it for somebody, or maybe it's not even about that. Maybe it's simply about trusting in what you do or trusting in something. Go about it a little bit differently. Do something that doesn't feel so pressured to do, right? So what does that look like? Moon is in Aquarius, Clancy. I love it. So you come about things very differently. And I love that about Aquarius. I have 2 kiddos who are Aquarius, and they come about things differently. I always laugh and say, I never know what I'm going to see when they walk through the front door, or the side door, because they come about it living at large, and the quirkier, the better. And I love that because there isn't a conformity. There's no conformities. And if there is a conformity, they definitely rebel against that. So how can you use that to your advantage, right? Because sometimes it can get very distracting being in that complete, overhaul of working towards not being the conformity. You're in it so much. Sometimes where do you place yourself? That air can get a little bit wild. So, oh my gosh, candle magic in a bowl of water. That is beautiful. So Clancy is baking and starting something special. Oh, love, love, love that so much. Crafting. A lot of people are doing some crafting. Wow. Okay. So Zaraklani. Am I saying your name right? I hope I am. Okay. For me, it's usually easier to clear energy through painting. As an empath, it's the easiest way for me to flush negative. I love that really so much. I had a really dear friend who introduced me to spirit painting or spirit drawing, and it was such a really fun thing to do. And I lost touch with that over the years, but it was so much fun where you put on some music, and she had us put on music and just really kind of go into this really different space and just paint and draw. And it was so refreshing, and it was so play-like, childlike. And a lot of stuff from childhood came in, and it was a beautiful way to clear things. So if you feel called to that, you should. If you feel called to, we did some Zara is easier. That's good. Okay. Yes. Thank you. So try that. Drawing something fun. Ooh, yes. So do something fun. Make it glorious. Remember your sovereign being. Remember that you are that which you desire to be. What a beautiful message. Take that. Maybe write it in your Post-it note. I am that which I desire to be. And it's basically you're desiring for those sacred parts of you to come out. You're desiring for that authenticity to be seen. And in that space, we can kind of feel vulnerable and scared. But it's needed. It's needed. The world needs authenticity. We all need to show. Haven't you seen when you look at somebody and you see them that they're real and you can relate to them, but they're being their authentic selves? You're like, yeah, I've been that way. I know exactly what that's like. That's why TikTok is so funny or whatever, because it's distracting sometimes, but you can find some really good things on there. But at the same time, you look at people and you're like, how funny, people are still people. At the end of the day, everybody wants the same thing. And that is to live a life where they can feel happy, or at least content. So remember that you are that which you desire to be. It is my intention that you will join me next new moon, next month. Like I said, we'll be doing these regularly, we as we have been over the years. And if you are not connected with us on Facebook through the Shakti Spiral Moon Alchemy group, please join there. We've been kind of quiet a little bit, but I really hope to instill a sense of community, a powerful community there. You're welcome to join there. And come March, we get into the spring equinox here in the north, and we're going to be opening up the doors to the sisterhood again. So if you're interested in joining, you can always put an application in, and we'll let you know probably in March when that's going to be. And stay tuned. We'll definitely be making the announcement in the Moon Alchemy group. So when we open our doors, we would love to have you. Okay, so much love for the sisterhood members. Get on. We're going to be working with Priestess Shalmadine. She's going to be doing channeled messages, another powerful quirk for being part of the sisterhood. So much love to everybody. May you be blessed as you are guided on your path. May you be seen and heard for all that you offer. So much love, and I will see all of you next month. Mwah. Many blessings.